I have therefore spoken to His Majesty the King to notify him that I am resigning as leader of the Conservative Party.
In a development that many had already anticipated and speculated, the recently elected British Prime Minister Liz Truss has finally resigned. She will remain a caretaker Prime Minister until her successor has been chosen. This has brought the curtains down on her very short-lived journey at the top post. Her turbulent tenure has come to an end just after 6 weeks in the office. And with this, she has become the Prime Minister with the shortest tenure in the British history, and the one whose term was mired in confusion, chaos, and what someone would perhaps argue, economic imprudence. In last 6 years of British politics, Truss is the 4th Prime Minister to resign. This is a clear testament to how unstable governance in Britain has become. Today, we try to take a look at the factors which might have led to such quick resignations and downfall of successive governments. But before that, do not forget to like, share and subscribe to One India. The reason of disarray in British politics is populism, polarization, indecisiveness, and most importantly, a clear misreading of the political winds and public will. When Britain decided to leave the European Union, David Cameron was the Prime Minister back then. He had thought this step would perhaps put an end to the infighting in his party and would help him consolidate power. But the plan backfired. British voters voted for Brexit by a very small margin, and very soon when the dust settled, it became clear that nobody had any real long-term plans to deal with the ramifications of this step. Cameron resigned after the referendum and Theresa May became Prime Minister. She also did not take much long to commit perhaps a political blunder. She called a snap election in 2017 only to lose her party's control of the House of Commons. The anti-European faction of her own party disagreed with her on many issues, most importantly about clear exit from the EU. As with her predecessor, Brexit became her nemesis too. Then came the turn of Boris Johnson, one of the staunchest votaries of Brexit. He had campaigned to get Brexit done, and he led the party to a landslide victory in 2019. The next year, he completed the UK's departure from the EU, and it looked as if he would govern for long. But soon, the world was struck by COVID-19. Johnson very clearly downplayed the threats and remained dilatory in his response. The slow response of his government led to over 200,000 deaths in the country, the highest toll in Europe, and drew heavy criticism. But he was not dethroned because of his slow responses. And the final nail was the Partygate. He and senior members of his party were accused of partying in number 10 Downing Street when the common citizens were put under strictest lockdown. The crux of the matter was that the top leadership failed even to adhere to the most basic standards of behavior that was expected of everyone. Johnson was forced to apologize and to pay fine. The Partygate virtually ended his tenure. Then, Liz Truss replaced Johnson in September with grand promises. She vowed to kickstart the economy with tax cuts for corporations and the rich without reducing public spending. Amid increasing inflation there and with rising energy prices because of the war in Ukraine, her plan spooked financial markets, crashed the pound, and sent mortgage rates soaring. Her mini-budget policy that was aimed to break the cycle of stagnation in the British economy failed even to take off properly. She could also not stop the infightings in her party, which led to resignation of her senior colleagues. And that has been a common factor in the contemporary British politics. Leadership revolts inside the parties. So, in a nutshell, infightings, indecisiveness and political miscalculations are the issues the British political landscape is engulfed in. We hope you like this new video. Thank you so much for watching.
Subscribe to One India channel and never miss an update.